Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Magic Maze on Mars.
So the way Magic Maze on Mars plays is that everyone is supposed to be silent. There are modules that build up gradually to the game. So what I'm going to do is I will talk you through module 1, then I will talk you through what needs to be added for module 2, etc. until we get to the full game. The first thing you'll notice is these tiles. These tiles, one of them will sit in front of each player, and that tells the player what color they are able to move. So for example, let's take this tile for starters. The blue player is the only person who can add a blue marker to the blue corner. One of the major assets or things to remember within this game is you can only have one of anything on a space. So the blue player will add the blue. The blue player will push it out to a spot. Anyone who has the orange or the yellow may move that marker. So this player can't touch that now. It needs to be this player who has the orange to do that. Back to this player who is the green to do that. That's the basics of moving. Now, why am I moving that around? Because when I get a blue marker to a blue spot, I can unlock a new tile. I could have done that back there, but I want to see how it goes with moving. Here's the pile. So as soon as the blue is there, the blue player takes a tile and will add that to the spot. Notice there is one area that has an arrow. That is the spot that needs to connect to where the marker was. That marker has now been used, so it gets removed. The blue player can birth another blue marker. He's on blue. We can open up that spot straight away. The player who has the brown marker can birth a brown piece. Theoretically, purple can move brown to there. Orange can move brown to there. If blue happened to have been moved to here, one of these guys is going to have to move out of the way. Blue cannot stand on here because there'd be more than one marker on that space. Brown also cannot stand there because there'd be more than one marker on that space. So just bear that in mind. Let's say that comes around to there. We flip out, or the brown player flips out a new tile, which has our green birthing area. Brown has been used, by the way. You'll notice there's this spot here. What I haven't introduced yet is the sand timer. So within this game, at the very beginning, we flip that sand timer over. We can continue to do all of our movements around the board and adding extra tiles while that sand timer is running. The problem is that once that sand timer runs out, we're at the end of the game. Whereas if you've got a marker that's sitting there, let's, for example, just imagine that's run through for a while. We've added extra stuff. We've been going about our business. At some point before this runs out, the green player, because this is a green movement space, will move a marker along there. Once they've done that, that now replaces it and the sand timer gets flipped over and we get another length of time. Notice that was used. Let's now imagine this one has pulled out a new piece. These are what we're really trying to do. So what you're trying to do is get a yellow, a green, and a brown marker into that spot. Once all three of those markers are there, you remove those three and replace them with one of these space stations. Why do we need the space stations? Because when this gets released, once all the space stations are there, so we're in module 1 at the moment, which only has one space station, our astronaut goes onto that spot and that then needs to be moved down to there. If the astronaut gets into this space before the sand timer runs out, you have won the game. That's really the essence of this entire game. You're just trying to get these astronauts onto these spaces. Now, the next element, and something that you will have been aware of if you've played the other Magic Maze, is that during this game, you're not supposed to talk. Module 1, you're absolutely allowed to talk about what you're doing. Of course, you're trying to get a feel for the game. But from Module 2 onwards, you're not supposed to talk to anyone at the table. You get their attention by using this. It's called the Do Something marker. Now, this particular game has a board, so you can go, hey, you, whoever it is, do this, which is add a marker to be able to be moved around. Do this, which might be move a marker onto the turn over the sand timer spot. I'll get to the others later as they come through the game, but it's basically doing each of the things that are available for each module. Let's move on to Module 2. With Module 2, we add 2 more tiles to the number of tiles that will come out. They all get shuffled up so they're not in any particular order. We will have 2 colonists and 2 space stations to deal with. We'll also have 2 sand timer tokens, so we'll be able to flip that token over another time as well. The other element that comes in are these bridge pieces. I'll talk about them in a moment. This piece, which I'll just throw in, it doesn't really matter where it's going, allows us to birth the purple markers to be able to move around and open up different spots. So this needs a purple to open it. Other than that, it just gives us the other turn over the sand timer spots. And our other one that is available to us is this one. So it's a second space station and it's this dotted line. The way these dotted lines work is if purple gets to here, he will create a purple crossing, and that's obviously been used. Remember, every time that one of these markers is used for something, it comes off the board. What you now need to do is get the 1 green and 2 orange into that space station, as well as the space station over here, which needs a brown, green, and yellow. The problem is that there is nowhere on the board that is able to birth the orange pieces. So what will need to happen at this stage is, let's say green is birthed and we've followed that around, purple's pulled straight all the way around, and green goes to there, that's fine. We do it again, Before green comes along, we can use one of these markers to change the color of the piece. So we could actually change that piece to an orange piece and push it in. If you do that a second time, that will enable you to add that dome. The other thing these markers are useful for is to make some noise. So if you're playing along and everyone's stuck and staring at each other and no one's paying attention to the do something marker, you can spend one of these and that allows you now to talk until someone touches something on the board. The other time that you can talk, by the way, is when you flip this over. So when someone goes there, you add a marker, flip the sand timer. Everyone at the table is now allowed to talk until someone touches a piece on the board or adds a piece to the board. Remember, however, that the sand timer is still moving while you're talking, so you are theoretically wasting time that you could be doing some stuff. Okay, in Module 3, once again, it works the same way as the others, so let's have a look. When this one's put out, we now have an entrance spot for orange to happen, but you'll notice this little picture of trash. That's talking about these trash cans. They go just there. What that means is no one is actually able to pass through that spot until that trash is moved. There's nothing that can happen to the trash other than just getting it out of the way. So if, for example, orange wishes to come onto the board, we're going to have the green player move the trash to there for orange to then come on and be used. Now the issue is when the next board gets birthed, there's another picture of trash, so we add trash. But we also add a trash to here. The problem is that that spot is already filled. So where you go from there is to one of the adjoining locations. So he might put that there instead. We don't have any more tiles, but in future rounds, if another one comes out that has trash on it, you'll be adding 3 pieces of trash, 1 for each of those trash icons. It just makes it harder to move around the board because you need to move them out of the way from each other, and they can't be on the same spot as someone else. The other element that has come into play is the pipelines. Pipelines are really important. They're these spots. You'll notice there's one over there. You'll notice also there's no other way of getting to that dome. So what will need to happen is if purple is birthed there, it moves to here, it can go into the pipeline and come out at another pipeline spot without having to move around the board. And then it can be moved into the spot where the dome is. Okay, and let's move to module 4. Module 4 has more of the trash icons, more of those holes to zip through, more of these spots to turn your time over. So that's added. That one adds one there, and one there. Notice that it's filling up the board with those trash. What do we do about those trash? I am glad you asked. When this spot is birthed, you will immediately add a slug icon onto that spot. What they do is they eat these trash. These trash things are moved around just like all of the other colorful pieces. The slug moves the same, except he can only move to places where there is something to eat. So either trash or one of your pieces. So if that was what it looked like, for example, there's a bridge in there. The pawn is able to move here and eat one. He's then able to move here and eat one. He's then able to move here and eat one. He's now not going to be able to move anywhere else. Obviously, the person who owns the color of which one he's moved to is the person who's going to move the slug. The other thing to bear in mind is slugs cannot fit through the pipelines. And finally, we get to module 5, which once again adds another slug and adds this piece. Notice there's more trash, so once again, trash bins are coming out. When this one is revealed, notice there are arrows on the pipes. That means that you can only move in one direction. All the other spots you can move either direction, so if you happen to have made a mistake, you can go back. It's not a drama. With these ones, you must move following the arrows. I believe that is it. There are a pile of other tiles that all have markings similar to things I've already spoken about. They can be added in any order, or any number of them can be added depending on the difficulty level you're looking for. I will leave it there. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplay to get a feel for how the game actually plays. I'll have a solo game in that, by the way. But please have a look at the Gamesplay to get a feel for how the game actually plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.